Hey ladies, it's Saturday night and you know what that means.
You want to get away.
Single Moms Lifestyle presents the Saturday Night Getaway.
Ooh, 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 ooh. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello,
everyone. Hey, everybody. Thank you guys for tuning in. Of course, you know you're now tuned into Single Moms to Wives, Saturday Night Getaway, and I am your host, Queen G, sitting here with my beautiful co-host and beautiful guest. We have Simple Ray.
Hey.
Down at the bottom. I want to say it up top, but you're at the bottom today. That's all right. And then we have next to Simply Lorraine, we have Camille Bryant, my cousin.
Hello.
Hello. And then we have Bertha up top in the left corner.
Hi, everybody.
Or my right. And Miss beautiful Delisha Jackson.
Hello, hello.
Yes, welcome, ladies. Thank you all for being here. Tonight's going to be a really awesome show. I cannot wait to introduce it. But before I do, anyone, if it's your first time watching the show, thank you so much. We ask that you please tag, like, and share so that we can get this word out to everyone. And if you've been following us for a while, thank you so much for continuing to be our listeners and viewers. We appreciate you. It is November. Time has flown by. Jesus. It is November. Like Thanksgiving is around the corner. But
yes,
it is November. So of course y'all know we have to tell everyone in the month of November happy birthday. And I have some special birthdays coming up for this month, actually, and one that just passed. So my grandson, Satar, everybody remembers baby Susu. He just turned 2 on the 10th. So happy birthday to Satar. And our baby girl, Adriana, her birthday is the 18th. So whoop, whoop, happy birthday, big girl. I think she's somewhere now celebrating. Do y'all have any birthdays this month?
My mom's birthday was yesterday.
It was, ain't Bird. Oh my God. It was literally just yesterday. Happy birthday, Auntie. She's so fly. I absolutely want to be her when I grow up. Okay. Happy birthday.
She is.
Anybody else?
my oldest nephew's birthday was the 9th.
The 9th. Okay. And that's
who?
Caleb. Okay. Mm-hmm. Happy birthday, Caleb. Anybody else?
I have a niece. Tomorrow's her birthday, Kaija.
Oh. Happy birthday, baby. Dolly, I see you up top. Like, I know.
Y'all not gonna embarrass me tonight. I'm trying to think. You know what? I'm gonna blame it on the twins. It's
blame it on the twins. Blame it on the
Sorry.
Twins. Well, we definitely will cover the month of October, and y'all know I'm missing somebody, but y'all charge it to my head and not my heart. Happy birthday to everybody! And if you guys would like for us to, who do we have?
I'm sorry, your cousin, our cousin, Paul. His birthday is the 20th.
My twin.
Yeah, your twin. His birthday is the 26th.
Happy birthday, okay. Paul. I'll be back again to shout him out again and again and again. That's my boo. But if you guys would like for us to give anyone, any of your loved ones a shout out for their birthday or anniversary, graduations, whatever it is, you guys can email us at singlemomslifestyleradio@gmail.com. And we will be sure to make the announcement. Ebby Ebb, yes, happy birthday, baby.
Yes, it was.
Cousin Ebony's birthday was yesterday. And the same goes for any topics. I love the DMs, but so you can continue to DM me on the topics or suggestions of the topics. But you can also email us again at singlemomslifestyleradio@gmail.com. And ladies, how have you guys week? And how's it been? Your whole week, just the week. Look at Camille. She said, I don't want to talk about it.
Busy. Sum it up. Busy.
Crazy.
Great week. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had a great week.
You have. She said I had a great one.
I had a great week. It's
Well,
been a
we'll
week.
start up top. So, tell us about it.
Honestly, it's just been a week of answered prayers for me.
Yes.
Things that we've really been believing God to do in our lives. I'm starting to see the reward of waiting.
Hey God.
I'm not gonna get started.
Go
I'm
ahead.
not gonna get started. I can be churchy. I'm not
get
gonna
started.
Be started. I'm not.
Go
I'm just
ahead.
making sure.
Oh,
Let's
here.
do that.
We have definitely it's starting the ripple effect of when God does one thing, the abundance is
Yes.
I can feel it. Overflow is
Yeah.
definitely hitting my house. So
Come
this
on,
has been a
Jesus.
week
Yes.
of just God showing us really who He is. So that's why it's just been an absolutely good week. I've gotten amazing reports with the twins. I saw them on Wednesday.
Oh.
So this has been a beautiful pregnancy. Praise God. You know, twins can a twin pregnancy can actually be it's considered to be high risk, and they're telling me that I'm at the lower end of that high risk. So it's been
Right.
absolutely flawless. So I can find something. But listen, it's been an awesome week for me.
Not this week.
Awesome. It's been awesome.
That just gave me life. Do you?
I know.
That gave me life.
Yes.
Thank you. Bertha,
Yeah.
how's your week been?
Oh my goodness, it's been so busy, but she has just spoken into my life.
Yeah.
I mean, thank you so much, Dalisha. I mean, you just don't even know. I told you all before we came on the air what I was dealing with, but that really spoke life to me, and I appreciate that because, I mean, we all are dealing with things, right? And I've always heard we're either going through something, coming out of something, or about to go into something. So, and that's just like the cycle of life. So I appreciate that for reminding me that I'm just going through.
Hey,
You know, it's all good as long as we keep God in the forefront.
absolutely. Well, y'all better come on with the chill bumps now. Right. Cold outside. Camille, you shook your head. Tell us about your week. Just let it out. Let us.
You know, I saw you on Saturday. So my flight was to leave on Monday. So we were speaking while I was in the airport on Monday. And me and my daughter, who has an infant, we sat in that airport for about 2 hours before we were told our flight was canceled because of the airport here in Phoenix had an outage. So they weren't letting any flights come in or any out. So we ended up in Memphis for another whole day.
Oh wow.
And, yep. So, you know, that was the week. But then I got back in, and my husband and myself were running a revival, which in Winslow, Arizona, which is like 2.5 hours away. So we've been doing that, and then today I had a women's conference that I attend. So I'm at the end of the week, and I am seeing, I'm receiving the overflow from Dalisha. So, you know, I'm encouraged because I'm like, okay, you know, I see the light. You know, delay doesn't mean that, you know, God ain't still in the midst, you know. So I started out with a delay beginning of the week, but it's how, you know, you respond to it.
Yeah.
And you do. So just waiting on God to just manifest even more. So
Amen. Amen. And if anybody has ever gone to a revival, do y'all hear the revival in a throat? It's all in a throat, you know. Get your praise on. I'm here for it.
Yes.
Are some amazing women. Because I know everybody right now, it's the weight we carry. Amen. Just the weight we carry. Seven Lorraine, how your week been?
It has been busy, and I guess I can say for the past 2 weeks, I have begun to see the blessings of God.
Yeah.
Even though it's busy, I can't say that it's overwhelming, hard, it's physically or mentally draining. So I can say I'm very happy that I didn't push for this blessing and I waited on it.
Come on.
That's good.
Well, geesh, Louises, listen. Amen. And y'all know my day, my life. Y'all see my life. It's never a dull moment. That's to say the least. So I just won't complain. But when I tell you I am in that same vein, God has been showing up and showing out. I had a day, I don't know if it was yesterday, day before yesterday, every day, but it was just a hey God moment. Do you hear me? Like, hey God. That's how I was. So yes, and Dalisha, I can definitely relate to something that he's been really working on me with, and that's patience. And good God Almighty, have I had to be
Oh,
patient for a
goodness.
very long time. But the breakthrough is here, and so yeah, I'm here connecting with everyone. Bertha, I know your story. Camille, I feel you. Like I get it, and I thank y'all so much for being here on this evening. We're gonna go ahead and make it do what it do, and dive right into the topic, and that is Thankful November. I do not, with all these man-made holidays, I like to buck the system. I'm a bucker, so you don't get to give me a day to celebrate, and especially when it comes to my loved ones. So we are celebrating for the remaining of this month and next month, and until we feel like it. Stop it. But I don't think we'll have a reason to. So it is Thankful November right here on Single Moms to Wives. And our topic tonight is just remembering to pause and give those that are very, very important in our lives, i.e., our husbands, their flowers now. We know going through the pandemic, tomorrow is not promised. And sometimes our lives, as we all just discussed, can be so busy that we forget to just take those moments and say, hey, babe, thank you. I appreciate you. So we're not going to wait till we're sitting around a big fat turkey and ham and say, name one thing you're grateful for. We're not going to do that. We're going to work the system tonight. That's all right with y'all.
Yes. That is all right.
So, again, speaking of God just confirming his word over and over and over again, I just went through that. And it was different times, literally spread out, but beginning with me. And God just had to really deal with me and show me how he had to show me me. He had to show me in my marriage. And it was not a pretty sight. Let me just be honest. He had to show me in a manner where I was just like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, I know all of us have been married at different times and different, for a different amount of time. I'm sorry. But can anyone relate to that moment where you realize you were just being so hard on your husbands, and then God just literally showed you what you prayed for is here, and you're just having a ridiculous moment? Can anybody? Is it just me?
No, it's not just you. It is not just you.
Is it just me? And so I had that moment, and I remember I a couple of weeks went by, and then I had a conversation with another wife. She actually they didn't make it on the platform, but and she had that same moment, and she's like, I saw him, and you're talking about married umpteen years, and it was like I saw him, and I was like, me too, girl, me too. And we was doing all this like, oh my God, we've been tripping. So maybe a month went by, and I had that same conversation again, and it was like, okay, right vein, talk to me, and I'll start with you up top, Dalisha. Talk to me about, and I know you and Will just tell us how long you guys have been married, and just talk to me about those moments, or if you've had a moment like that.
Of course. Will and I have been married for 2 years, but if I can be transparent, we actually had a lot of marital experiences prior to our marriage. So, quick backstory. Will and I were in an accident. My entire family was actually in the car, but we were hit head on by a drunk driver. And everybody survived, praise God, but Will ended up breaking his neck. And that moment really, first of all, it taught us how to in our lives, the Lord literally set us down.
Uh-huh.
And it was in that time of us sitting where we really had to address those nasty, ugly, dark things about us that we didn't really want to. So a lot of things that I'm discovering about marriage, that people kind of it unfolds during marriage. It unfolded while Will and I were dating. A lot of things.
Oh, wow.
And one of the main things that I've realized about women is we are naturally detailed. So our attention to pay attention to just the smallest things, men don't have that. So learning the patience with my husband, learning like, okay, I'm just gonna do this, like don't touch it. And then also being in a position to allow him to be him. He told me something that really reassured me that I am in good standing with him, but I'm also in good standing with God, with being his wife. He told me, I feel safe with you.
Oh, that's good.
I feel safe with you. And that made, he buys me anything that I want. He treats me like the queen that I am. But to hear those words, I am safe. You are a safe place, my safe place. Oh my God. So I can say, am I answering the question?
Yeah, go
ahead.
This is it. I'm gonna wrap it up. That for me it was that affirmation. It was letting me know that as his wife, I'm on the right path. Since being pregnant with the twins, like in the beginning, it was really, really hard. I had sickness like I've never experienced. Like I was throwing up maybe 7 or 8 times a day. Couldn't get out the bed. It was really, really bad. So Will had to step up to the plate and not only fulfill his duties, but also fulfill mine. And so it was in that moment that it took my level of appreciation up for my husband. And it made me just be even more verbal with how I verbalize my appreciation towards him. Me showing him, like when I could get up, let me do little stuff for him to let him know, like, I see you and I appreciate you. So that I learned how to, I guess, just sit back and really realize the man that God blessed me with. When he was in his halo, when he broke his neck. Learn how to walk, and him looking at me and saying, baby, I'm doing this for you. Like you're like, he's literally in a halo walking towards me, just speaking to me. And that for me let me know, like, this man is not a quitter. This man will not give up. And even in the toughest moments when he has every excuse in the world to be a baby, to whine, he didn't. So that was that moment for me that let me know, okay, God, I really have to protect this treasure.
Oh, I love it.
That's wow.
Oh, come on, then.
Yes.
That on that. Bertha, can you just give us a time and a moment where, it was just your aha moment, where you may not have seen your husband for the man that God placed in your life to be?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Let's see. My husband and I, Rick, we've been married. We've been together for about 11 years, but we have been married for 7 years. So I had an aha moment. As a matter of fact, not long ago, because when he came into my life as the perfect one for me, but I mistook that for that he was perfect. And so I realized,
come on, talk your talk.
He's a man. He's my man, but he's not perfect. So that was my error in expecting perfection from him. And when I realized that he's human, just like I am, but I want to slap him across his head because he wasn't perfect.
Right.
You know what I mean? So God really let me know that I was putting him in a box, and I'm not supposed to do that. That was my mistake. So we're still growing every day, learning to love, learning to express in the right way, the fair way, and not just be in attack mode because you're not perfect the way I want you to be. So, but I'm so thankful for him because he's still what God has put in my life, placed in my life, and just working everything out for us. I mean, and it's just a beautiful thing to be able to grow and learn with one another and just continue to just be everything that we're supposed to be with one another.
Yes, 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 yes. I love that.
I don't know if I answered your question either.
You absolutely did.
Okay.
These are all customized answers.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah, you absolutely did. Thank you. Thank you. And I want you ladies to know that since we've been doing the show here live on social media, the podcast, versus when we were doing radio, it has been a transition, but Single Moms to Wives, this has literally been probably the first show that I've actually done any marital topics. So you all are the first, and I thank you. Y'all, I'm over here like y'all are killing it. So thank you. And yes, that was beautiful, Bertha. I get that. I can relate to everything both of you all said. Camille, now hold on real quick. Bertha, how long have you guys been married?
For 7 years.
7 years. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And Camille, how long have you guys been married?
31 years.
Who many?
31.
Let me see. How many? That?
31?
Yes.
Go.
Wow.
Oh.
She looks 31.
First of all, let's talk about it. Like, what?
Yeah.
You got married at 2. No.
Well, we'll say that.
So, you are definitely the marital wisdom as far as years is concerned. And I am getting ready to take you all the way back, I'm sure. But we're here for it. So just talk to us about moments where you didn't realize, that you actually had the man you prayed for. And what was that like when you saw him?
So actually got married when I was 19. So right out of high school. So for me, it wasn't easy in the beginning because both of us came from single parents. So we didn't really have, and I was single, not because my parents was divorced, it's because my father passed when I was young. So I was practically raised in a single household as well as my husband. And also with that, he came from a big family, it's about 9 or 10 of them. I come from a small family, it was just me and my 2 sisters and my mom. So the first couple of years, it was really hard because growing up, when you're young, you're finding your way. So in finding your way, you kind of set in your ways. And so I would say after our first 5 years, we did have that moment where we did separate. Just so, because at that moment, as you're saying, when did I realize this was that the actual man for me? Because at that moment, I'm thinking I got married young, so maybe this wasn't God's plan. Maybe it's just something Camille wanted. And during our time of separation, we both, I got to know God. That was during a time where I even gave my life to Christ during that time. And it was first in finding out who I am, finding out that, I am one of God's chosen. I am worthy of a good man. And when that was a positive to me from God, I actually started seeing my husband in a different way. I actually started seeing that this is someone who really, truly did love me. And God just worked things out to where we were brought back together again. And even in seeing that, in seeing myself differently as being worthy, it allowed me to see the good in other people, the worthiness of other people and what they were going through. So I would say when we came back together and building rebuilding our love back on communication, understanding that, you know, the love language. So
Yes.
really just trying to, you know, really see each other in a different light and learning each other's love language. For me, in my household, love was something that was shown by gifts.
Mm-hmm.
But also because it was so many, it's more so words. You can say, you know, thank you, I appreciate that. You know, I love you. I love you wasn't said a lot, you know, in our house. So it was shown, you know, I knew my mom loved me because, you know, she would stop at 3 different restaurants, you know, to get, I wanted McDonald's, somebody else wanted that. So that's how she showed love, by just giving us what we want. And when you get to know God, you're not going to always get what you want. And even in a relationship with your spouse, you're not going to always, it's not going to always feel the way you want it to feel, look the way you want it to feel. And just learning that, it let me see him in a different light, that he was a dedicated man. He was committed. And what I was interpreting dedicated and committed to be was just more self-centered. So I think, and just coming back and just seeing that, and seeing him even now as a full-time pastor, work full-time, you know, it's like I even see it, it's just being revealed to me each year as
Oh,
it goes.
wow.
I just thank God for that, because you know what, he said that, you know, he will open up the windows, not one window, but the windows of heaven, and pour you out blessings. And he was doing that, but I couldn't receive it as blessings because I didn't know God like I should have.
Oh,
Now that
that's
I know
good.
God like I see the
Wow.
windows,
Wow.
plural,
Yes.
pouring out, and he's continuing to do that. Even if I don't feel it, I know he's still yet doing it. So hopefully I answer your
You
questions.
did. You did. You did.
Wow.
Listen, y'all got me over this. It's the chill bumps tonight. I'm just gonna go ahead.
Yeah.
In a minute, I'm gonna grab a blanket because y'all got me just like, oh, that was amazing and beautiful. And I
Yes.
love the transparency in that.
Mhm.
And I think it's very important that a lot of things that you all said, but it's very important to for those that are not married, and then those that are married and don't really know how to weather the storm. So to have 7 years, 2 years, 31 years, 6 years, you know, on this platform, one thing that we have that's our common denominator is everyone here is intentional about the commitment. And I love the fact that, you know, you said, hey, even though we had to separate, but in that separation, God did such a work on you that when you guys came together, it's the same two people, same marriage, but it was a new thing.
Mhm.
And that's literally where I am with my husband. And Bertha, I have to piggyback off of what you said because that was my mindset. I dated a total different breed compared to my husband.
Mm-hmm.
But when I got my husband with Corey, it was like, you know, he's a minister. He, you know, he honestly, I married him because he was supposed to save me. He was supposed
Mm-hmm.
to save me.
Mm.
And in saving me and being the man that I need you to be, I thought I was just going to customize him. I was going to
Mm-hmm.
personally customize him to suit me.
Mm.
And so that caused me to not be able to recognize the love language, not be able to speak it, you know, and it just caused a lot of bumping heads. And then I realized, like, I had a real humbling moment, and I had a prayer that changed. The words in my prayer changed.
Mm.
God, help me to be the best wife that he needs. Help me to be this wife that you've called me to be.
Yeah.
And the moment that I start praying, Lord, help me to be Corey's wife,
Mm.
Yes. Wow.
That's
Mm-hmm.
good.
it shifted me in a way that I'm still not shocked, because God is God, is he is who he is.
Mhm.
He's always given me what I've asked for. He's never failed me. But to the magnitude that I had no idea that, you know, that finger, the more I prayed, you know, that finger that we point,
Mm-hmm.
it slowly start bending. It slowly, and I had to look at me. And when I did that, one thing God asked me in my prayer closet, my prayer closet is the shower. Okay, I don't know about
Mine too.
That's a good that's a good closet.
but one thing He had to show me in the prayer closet, He asked me. He said, "Did I give you what you asked for?"
Mm.
And I was like, "Oh." So I was like, "Let me see." And when I went through the list, you know, that checklist they did on the what's the Tyler Perry show? Why Did I Get Married? I went through a mental list of if this man was everything I asked God for before I met him. And
Wow.
He absolutely is.
That's
He's
awesome.
just not who I want him to be. And then God said, "But you didn't create him. He's who I want him to be."
Wow.
I was like,
Want to check you?
It was just like a whole, I think He made me, it was like a whole ouch moment for like a month.
Right.
It was just like ouch, 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 ouch. You know, I started doing the ouch, ouch, ouch. But when I tell you, I thank God, you know, for being able to see, because I didn't know that I couldn't see until I could see. And being in that moment, it put me, like you said, it gave me, Dolly, you said, it just gave me a new appreciation for, first of all, being grateful and thankful, showing gratitude to God for blessing me with the man that I literally prayed for.
Wow.
But then, you know, just being thankful for Him being patient with me to get it together. Because I would be over here in the divorce line, period. And I can't believe I said that. I usually say the D word, but I would be in that line. And so it's one of those things where when you are able to see, it's a different ball game. So, Ray, I know that you are the part of the segment that's single, but talk to me about God preparing you for your husband and hearing what the other lady said. You know, what mindset does that put you in?
Just to stay exactly where I am right now. It just really, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but just to stay in a place where I'm enjoying being single right now. It doesn't have to be a bad thing. Enjoy getting to grow in my relationship with God.
Right.
And know exactly who I am and what exactly it is I'm wanting.
Yeah.
And knowing that I have to be patient with myself and be patient with others and understand that we are all individuals.
Yes. Yes.
Can I say something to that?
Please.
I wanted to say something to that too.
One of the things that I've learned, that I learned while I was single, was it's so much easier to get yourself together when it's just you. If that makes sense. So it's not like Gwen said, like, you don't. He decided to be patient with you, but when it's just you in this, like, God, I gotta figure this out for me. It allows you to be like super intentional, super intimate, and really, really explore, like, who am I? A lot of people that I talk to, a lot of single people think that they're going to magically discover who they are when they get married. In actuality, you're not. Like, what I've learned is that it makes it so much more smoother, the transition, when you can go into something and you know exactly who you are. So the fact that you're taking this time, I commend you, because you can boldly say, I'm not ready yet. I'm still in a space where I'm still figuring some things out. Don't let nobody force you into marriage until it's your time.
Yes.
Marriage is not going anywhere. And when you do start dating, you don't have to date for 5 years. You can date for 6 months and say, you good, I'm good, let's do it.
Right.
So I commend you, and I'm supporting you, and I applaud you from Kennesaw. Like, keep going. Keep doing it. Keep going. I love it. I love it.
I mean, because
Absolutely.
at this point, right now, I think about the people that I probably would have wanted to get married, are stuck in there with, and I think now with there's no hard feelings or anything like that, but who they are and who I am right now, I don't even think it would have
That's
lasted
good.
because we're not even parallel in mentally, emotionally, or spiritually.
Oh,
Wow.
that's good.
And
That's
I
good.
have figured out in my singleness, like, yeah, we can help each other. We can be there for each other as individuals in the physical, but it took me a while. I think about maybe about 3 years ago, it hit me like, if you can't give me anything or pour back into me mentally, emotionally, or spiritually, then you're just taken from me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's good.
I love
And
that.
at the same time, if I'm not correct in those areas, then I'm just taken from you.
Right.
Yes, yes, yes. That's really good.
That's good.
Bertha, I'm going to let you go ahead and speak.
Piggyback off
Yeah,
her.
yeah, go ahead, speak on
Yes.
that.
So when Simply Lorraine was saying, like, just basically, I just wanted to add that you have to try to be. So I commend you too on your singleness, because you have to try to be whole. A lot of times, like Gwen said, that she thought that her husband was supposed to save her. So we have to be whole
Mm-hmm.
in your singleness. There's nothing wrong with dating yourself. There's nothing wrong with just
Come
going
on.
out and just being giving
Right.
yourself. You
Yes.
know what I
Mhm.
mean? Does that make sense? You have to
Yeah.
give yourself, because so many times we're giving ourselves to everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So if you can be whole before you become committed and connected to somebody to become one, then that's the best platform. But even still, when we become one, then you're still learning yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
still, I mean, I'm learning so many
Absolutely.
things about myself, and I'm gonna be completely transparent here, that whenever I mean, growing up, I saw so many things that we just kind of look at as right,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not really right. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
Same.
mean? I mean, you see so many relationships just in and out the door. I'll say it like that, in and out the door. And you kind of think that, for me, I'll just say for me, I
Mm-hmm.
saw that, and it created trust issues
Mm-hmm.
for me in my
Wow.
marriage, because of things that I've saw throughout my life, in my
Wow.
family members and friends, just, all around me. So, and then it starts to you start questioning yourself, like, wait a minute. And then on the women's side, I'm talking about on the men's side, about, the distrust. But then on the women's side, there's so many women in our family that are not married. And myself, this is my second marriage,
Mm-hmm.
but I've had a few relationships prior to that, and I bailed out on them
Oh
when
wow.
things started getting rough
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and tough. Even though it's for better or worse, I bailed out, because it's like it was easier to say, I want to keep going my way,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Right.
instead of saying, you know what, in the worst part, let me try to figure this out. Let me,
Yes.
God is taking me somewhere, and let me figure out where I'm supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's what I wanted to add to that.
And you and listen, that's literally where I wanted to go in the dealing with self and sitting with self. And I know that we all can attest to, at some point in life, trying to be, a companion, and
Yes.
at the same time sit with your own mess,
Oh,
figure you out, deal with you, this, that, and the other. And as women, we already carry a lot. So
Mm-hmm.
that in itself can be such a strain and stress, especially on the head of your home, the head of your family.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Simply because a lot of us honestly need to, if you haven't, do what Simply Lorraine is doing. Just
mm-hmm.
sit with God
Mm-hmm.
and get to know who you are. And what I would like to say to that, Simply Lorraine, is you are literally in your preparation season. You're in a season of being prepared.
Mm-hmm.
And while I'm in it to win it, you know, I know now that that would have been a wonderful place for me to start.
Mm.
Um, but sometimes, you know, God will actually show us the vision and we take that as a go.
Right.
What I've learned is he'll show us the vision, but in between the vision and goal, there's preparation.
Yes.
Mhm.
And so, yes, you are definitely right where, as a wife, now I can tell you, I would have loved to been in
Mhm.
order to be prepared, because this is a total different lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
People think it's a title. It's not a title. It's not a ceremony. It is a lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
And when you come from, like us, our family, we come from a family full of dominant women. I
Yes.
don't know if everybody can relate to that. And I think just the era that we're in, you know, because Dalisha mentioned it earlier, you know, I'll just do it. You know, I'll just do
Mhm.
it. You know, get out of my way. I'll do it. And then it
Yep.
starts a trickling effect of different emotions where eventually your man, your husband, feels like you don't need him. And
Mhm.
I've had moments like that several times where my husband was like, "What do you need me for?" And just not knowing how to transition because of lack of being prepared.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
It can make a world of difference. I have another question for you guys, but we've been having a lot of comments, and I want to make sure that we can, um, you know, touch on some of these. So, my mommy, Arnitha, she has a comment, and she says it's because of women like you all, that I refuse to give up on the sanctity of marriage. Um, I've done it 4 times. I'm not bitter nor angry. I'm looking forward to number 5. And it's these messages of love that is going to make me be the wife I'll know how to be. Be the wife I'll know how to be. Bless y'all and kudos. Thank you, Mom. Um, and so we talked about that. Bertha, you talked about not being, you know, this being your second marriage, you know,
Mhm.
but what you realized in this one versus the other one was a lot more of you. You know what I mean? And then
Yes.
being able to look back and see your come from.
Yes.
And it's not a bad thing. I definitely want to make this statement. Sometimes being able to look back at our blueprint and
Mhm.
literally say, they got it wrong. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's okay.
Mhm.
Because if your parents are anything like mine, and if you're any kind of the parent like I am, we want the next generation to be better than us. That is the goal.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people think that they're doing their parents a disservice or dishonoring them by being able to do, you know, and say, or even our families, and say what Bertha said. Like, you know, I don't think they got it right, but I want to be right, not right. I want to be right. For me,
Mhm.
that's the most important thing. We have Will Jackson, Mrs. Dalisha's husband. He
Hey,
said,
boo.
in between the vision and go is preparation. It absolutely is. And I think that we can apply that in all things in life. Thank you,
Mhm.
Will, for
Yeah,
being
that's
here
right.
and tuning in. Um, talk to me, Camille, about what it's like to really be married, but then start anew.
Mm.
Because I feel like we've had so many starts, you
Yeah.
know, restart, rewind, start over. In 31 years, what is that like for you guys every time? Or I don't know if you've had to do it more than once.
So what is it like to start anew? Um, for me to start anew, it was I don't know, it was refreshing. It was like the blinders were taken off, just to be honest. So it was like I think what was just posted by I believe it was Mr. Jackson was like in between what was it? Go, the vision and go. this preparation, I went straight to go. I didn't understand the vision and initially. And for me, I think the focus was on just what I knew from the family members that were married and what went on in their marriage, and not really got to understand that God prepares us for our own marriage and not focus on those things. So I think when I got my second chance at marriage with my husband, the focus was on our marriage, not so much on, okay, this happened in my mom's marriage, this happened in my aunt's marriage.
Ooh,
So
that's good.
not focusing on that, leaving that baggage with the old marriage, the part one. And now, in knowing that, God does make things anew, and carrying God in there, into there, like you were saying earlier, not only did I recognize the love language, I was able to show and understand it. So
That's good.
when you have an understanding, I just saw him different. I just saw, even though it was the same individual, I was able to see not only him physically, but spiritually. I was just able just to see just what our marriage truly was to be. And because I wasn't, I wanted to give you a love language, which wasn't yours.
Oh, wow. That's good.
Wow, that is
And
real
realizing
good.
I
that what
want to give you a love language.
yeah, I wanted to give him a love language. And when I had that preparation moment, it was preparing me for his love language, preparing me for him, not who I wanted him to be and wanted him to do. It actually prepared me for seeing him, understanding this is who I have for you. This is the language. This is what you need to understand.
Wow.
So, and from that moment, I just see things different. Every moment I feel like God has asked me, like, do you want me to give you some, or do you want all?
Oh,
So, and that's when I expound on open up the windows. It was in the first marriage, I saw that word as window, like one window. But once I got to really know God, I realized he was saying windows. It's so much I have for you through this individual, but you just want this little piece. You want to stick with the quart. I have this whole gallon, so it's like, what do I want in life? Do I really want what God has for me, or do I want to just settle with what I want? And that's what I going back into it, us coming together, we was able to see that. And not only I feel that I didn't, I was able to see him, he was able to see me for really who I was, the new me and God in me. So I just think the maturity that I was able to grow, not only within myself, but even within Christ. So
yeah. That's dope. Yeah. And I love that you said that, it's just that it's just the blinders coming off. And it's something, it's something that TD Jakes actually has a series where he and his wife talk about, marriage, the model marriage, different, realms of being married. And one thing that he says is, as long as you're married, and I think Bertha, you may have been the one to touch on this, you're going to constantly be learning about yourself. You're going to constantly be learning each other. Who you are, for instance, Camille, at 19 when you were in your teens versus, the 30-year-old you, the 40-year-old you. You have to get to learn you. And so sometimes we do expect our husbands to be psychic. Just know, tell me if you guys remember the saying, or I'll say the theory, that if you have to tell a man, how to love you, then he don't love you. If you have to tell him, how to care for you or be attentive, then he doesn't love. I am so glad I'm hard-headed in this instance.
Yes, I am definitely with that.
You mentioned it, Camille. Communication is key. And Dolly, I think you said the same thing. Bertha, I've heard everybody go back to communicating. You have to communicate. We are individuals. They cannot read our minds.
Right.
But because my daddy just knew what to do, and my uncle just knew what to do. You know what I mean? Even now, having adult children, my sons just know what to do. That does not mean that we have to compare
Yes.
Every male species that's been, every male, excuse me, is only one male species. Every male that has been in our lives to our husbands,
That's right.
we
But
have to learn their love language. Go ahead.
did you hear what you just said though? You said listen to the men that you named. You said your dad, your uncles, or your
Yes.
sons, or your nephews. All of these people you've been around your whole life, or they've been around you your whole life, or
Mhm.
their whole life.
Absolutely.
So it's, you know what I mean? Like you said, we're individuals. So of course somebody that's been around me for 20, 30 years is gonna know pretty
Mhm.
much exactly what I like and don't like. But somebody that you're just spending time, well, that you're married to, or you're getting that's learning you after 1 year, 2 years, three, like y'all learning each other.
Right, right, right.
But
Go
can I
ahead.
challenge that simply, Lorraine?
Yeah.
Because you said that we're around each other and we know each other for, and they've been knowing us for this long period of time, 20 years, because we're around each other. But do we really know each other?
Mm.
Or are we just routined because we have to be around each other?
That's
Sometimes,
good.
and
You
I'm
know
not
what? I like that.
yeah,
I
and
like
you
that.
know,
I like
because
a lot.
we sometimes we just get along just to get along,
Mhm.
but it doesn't really mean that we really know each other. And
Mhm.
when you become husband and wife, you know each other in a different way.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? You become one, we become intimate, and they know that intimacy about you.
That's
Mhm.
Whether we want to give them credit or not, they know
Mhm.
us,
Mhm.
you know. And I love that my
I
cousin
love
Nita
that.
said, she said, I'm going to, mm, uh, what did she say? Love that going to make me be the wife I know how to be.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Right.
Yes.
So that's huge.
Mm.
A lot of
Yes.
times we know exactly what to do, but we choose not to do it because we're used to doing things our way, getting
Mhm.
things our way, and we're doing things because we've seen family members do it.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
So a lot of our living, a lot of our habits and patterns are just that,
Mhm. Mhm.
you know.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
like that. I like that. I love that. Yeah, that was that was a mouthful right there.
And I
Yeah.
wanna add to that, y'all. One thing that I've learned is that as human beings, we evolve every 7 years.
Mhm.
So it's really important to marry somebody who can constantly change with you. If you
Yeah.
marry somebody who's like, I'm stuck in my ways and this is what it is, and
Preach.
just even this generation alone, like I am not who I was. I met my husband as a junior, sophomore in college. That girl, like, honestly doesn't exist anymore. So had he not been in a space to grow with me and to evolve with me, like he would have still been stuck in the past. And I'm trying to go forward. So I think that it just understanding the evolution and constant, like think about God. Like
Yeah.
he's an evolving God. Like
Yeah.
he's the same, but God, he understands, he speaks to us how we communicate.
Right, 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 right.
How cavemen communicated. Let's take it back then. Like
Yes,
how
yes,
how even our moms, our grandparents, how they communicated is
yes.
not how we communicate
That's
today.
right.
Like,
Mhm.
Yes.
so understanding that we evolve and being in a marriage and being with somebody, you got to get with somebody who can evolve with you and who can change and who can accept that change about you.
And I love that. I absolutely love that. You honey, it sounds like you just I just instantly seen this piece and then this puzzle come together when you
Yes.
said that.
Mm.
Because again, another mindset, and I'm just being transparent that I had of what we did a season or a segment on says who.
Mhm.
And it's like what my ideal of what roles, gender roles, what we should do. It was literally based on, you know, this is what my grandmother did and my grandfather did, and
Mhm.
Tradition.
Yeah.
And so it's like a man should do this and a man should do that and a woman
Mhm.
should do this and a woman should do that, and it's like I just had this epiphany. Says who? Because
Mhm.
like you said, Alicia, we are constantly evolving.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, I think that, again, glory be to God that we have the men that we have. That's just like, okay, there's a time to, go with you. And then there's a time where I'm going to be still and I'll wait. I will wait for you
Mm.
to get there, to
Mhm.
arrive.
That's
Mhm.
good.
And that's the one thing that I can honestly say I've been blessed in with my husband is the waiting for me.
Mm.
Yes.
To
Yes.
to do away with the mindset that I had about who he should be.
Mm.
Mhm.
And about, I want to say a year or two ago, maybe, something else God put down in my spirit. It's gonna blow y'all away. Mind your business.
Hello. Sips my water.
Like, go,
Yeah. Yes.
you do know this is my husband. He is my business.
Mm-hmm.
And he kept saying, mind your business.
Your business. Wow.
Because there is Gwen and Corey's business.
Mm-hmm.
And then there is Gwen and God's business. But there's also Corey and God's business.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Oh, wow.
And in that moment, he was like, mind your business.
Mm.
Y'all, I felt, listen, it hurt me. It hurt me to my heart.
I know, because you want to be in it.
You want to know,
He is my business.
what you talking about? What
Right.
y'all done had in there? Yeah.
And I'm saying that to say that sometimes we absolutely have to, we will find ourselves in marriage in a place where what we cannot do in the flesh, when there is a growth, where someone has had a growth spurt and the other one has to yet catch up. I'll say that. We'll find ourselves in a place where you have to mind your business and let God do in the spirit what we cannot do in the flesh.
Oh my
And
God.
a lot of times what we try to do in the flesh, especially as women, is blah, 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 blah. It doesn't create change. It creates discord and animosity and chaos and resentment, but it does not create change. And I love the movie War Room because that is the message that we all should have gotten from that. What you cannot do in the flesh, let the Creator. Because we forget to go back to that. And when I say that, we forget to go back to Him, to God, in all things. If right now, Camille, you created this toy, and for some reason this toy had a malfunction, the family that bought that toy, you understand, and it had a malfunction, the only way for it to be corrected, the only person that knows how to fix it would be you,
the creator.
Yeah.
You created it.
That's awesome.
That is.
And so that was my another aha moment for me. Not to mention that I had put him in a position where he had to tell me, which is so hard to say now, I'm me. Like, love me for me. I'm me. I was like, ooh, I'm me. And I don't know who that was, so forgive me. It's the million things going on in my life. But someone made the statement, getting back to, who he was when I fell in love with him, when we met. You have so many of those moments in your marriage. It's amazing. That's the dopeness I'm talking about, as far as being thankful, on this thankful November, that we're having those moments of newness where it's like you remember why you, hey boo, those moments, like they are everything.
Yeah.
Where you can literally, go back to And that is one reason why I really wanted to do this topic and do this show, because I think if we can verbally sort it out, sort out the things that we think are such deal breakers and worth, battles worth having, they can just overshadow the good. They can overshadow those moments of Camille in 31 years, to be able to
Oh
have
my
that
gosh.
conversation and go back to when we met, when you were 19 and you was just like, yes, God. But that was a different yes, God moment, be able to have those moments, and
Yes.
men need that. That's one thing I've learned. We think
Oh,
that,
yes.
again, just another myth that in our society, in our community, it's like men can't cry, they can't be vulnerable, they can't have emotions. And sometimes we don't think that we can give them that, you know what I mean? And they're not going to ask for it because, again, a good percentage of Black men, especially, have been raised that certain things that are normal is soft.
Right.
Yeah.
It doesn't make you a man. And so, because if they've been taught that, then we've been taught the same thing on the other side of it. But I think we have to give that back to them. It's absolutely okay to say, good job, babe. I see you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Thank you, babe. Thank you for sitting up with me. And I know you're tired, and I know you just worked 16 hours or 18 hours, or like you said, Camille, been on a revival, and then you work full time, and then you still come home and you may have to fix the door. You may have to take time and not have so many expectations that you don't say thank you.
Right.
You have to remember to just say thank you, because as women, we can be real spoiled. And with that spoilness can come sometimes unrecognized selfishness. Just because he can and he does, it does not mean that we don't take time to say, just pause and just say, thank you, babe. Not
Or
on
how was your day?
Huh?
Or how was your day? Just thinking of them instead of how my day was,
Yeah, how was your day? That's the thing. Just basically taking those moments. How often can you guys, and we just talking, it's just a conversation. How often can you say, now that we're talking about it, that you're conscious about doing that, more often than seldom? Or is it something that, you may need to improve on? Because I'm working on it.
Definitely need improvement.
Yeah.
I can admit that.
And that's all right.
I can admit that.
That's all right.
I can say I am very, very conscious about just, there was a lot of things that my husband had to overcome mentally that I was there with him while he was overcoming. And one of those things was verbal abuse. So understanding the importance of speaking life into him and how he didn't even know he needed that. So I'm very, very, very conscious about, babe, you did awesome tonight. You rock. Like the other night, our 1-year-old was crying because she was teething, and he sat up with her for a majority of the night. And I woke up and was like, babe, you are such an amazing dad. Like, you're awesome. So I am very, very conscious about just speaking life into him and letting him know that as his wife, I'm watching you and I see you.
Yes,
So,
yes. That is dope. I love that. Camille.
For me, that's definitely something that I'm trying to be more conscious of with, with me having kids. And even though they're older, it seemed like it's reversed in my thinking. I thought once they get older and get, grown, they would need me less. But, I have a daughter who's been married, going into her second year, has a child. So it's like you take on a new role. So there becomes a lot more responsibility. I have a son in college. So, the focus of just making sure, especially with everything that's going on in society today, black men, young men, he's tall, so he can be mistaken as being much older than what he really is. So sometimes just not conscious about it I may forget to even, because I'm so wrapped up in, the kids and working and just making sure, everybody's safe, everybody's doing things. I may forget to say, hey, how was your day? Because my day just been so crazy. I may just forget to do that. So I try to consciously try, even if it's 10 or 15 minutes, try to engage in a conversation with both of us working from home. It's just, everything is just not like it used to be. And I realize with COVID, a lot of people have come together, but I think for us, we're together, but not together because it's still just so busy. And I think over the summer, we both came to the realization that, even though we're both working from home, get up, we go log in, working, and then he may have to do Bible study, that we really haven't made time for each other. So we now try to at least do a getaway every month, so that way, just a getaway without the kids and spend the weekend. So that way we can try to, connect, even not that we're disconnected, but just, pay attention to one another, give us that time together to kind of see, hey, what's going on? I know it's been busy week, month. So let's just make sure we're still on the same page and, we're still going, we're still in the same boat, everything. So, but I try to make sure I'm working on that daily thing, not wait for the getaway, but, do that just daily, like, good morning. We make sure we say good morning. And just do those little things just to connect. So it's definitely something that I see need to be worked on more. But that's the good thing about it. I know, it's when you don't know, so when you know that this is something I need to work on, you kind of try to make that greater effort in it. So that's
and you mentioned something real quick. You mentioned something about just being intentional, even something as simple as good morning.
Yes.
Or how was your day? Hey, babe, how was your day? Because again, I don't know about y'all, but as a woman, as women, it's just all we need is a ear. All we need to know is an ear is near. Listen, it could be an ear on the other side of this door. I know it's near. I'm talking through it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Sometimes I just like da 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 da, and I have those moments, Camille, where I have to be like, "Hey, babe, how was your day? So how was your shift?" Because I'll just make it all about me. And he's so dope. Like, he literally will just sit there and I mean and just, he has a lot to say because he has a day that he wants to tell me about. But if I don't ask, he won't volunteer. And I love that he's like, hey, I'm here to take on what you got. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
But I love that about him. Dalisha, you wanted to comment?
Yeah, I have a question for everybody. How often do you acknowledge or tell your spouse how they look, like how good they look? Like how often do you ladies do that?
That's good. That's good. Now I'm not gonna lie. Listen, I ain't gonna tell nobody's lie today. Corey is third shift, and I'm getting up when he's coming in typically. So no, we do not look good in those moments, okay? Just in those moments. But when we get a chance to put clothes on and actually look like something, we do. And if we notice, like I notice he's been losing, weight, because sometimes working third shift can do that to you. You rather sleep than eat. Or, if he shave his face, those days that he'll take, the time to say, okay, let me groom myself or whatever. And I'm like, okay, I see you. But I'm just like that. Like, I love to encourage. Y'all see me on social media. I'm a cheerleader about everything. So I don't want to say that it is a conscious thought that I'm making sure that I do that, just words of affirmation for him. But now that you said it, I definitely want to be more intentional and conscious about doing that, giving that to him for him. if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Bertha?
Oh, I don't. I, I'm not,
It's okay.
I'm not very expressive in a very positive way right now, but I'm working on it. That's going to be a goal. That is going to be a goal. But you know what? I just want to give kudos to Camille because she says they've been married for 31 years and she's still saying all these lovely things, being so transparent. But then at the end of it, she still said, but I'm still growing. I'm still working on
I
this.
love that.
I love that because it just sets the tone to let you know that every day is a new day to keep doing something or to learn something, and not that we've got it in a bag and there's nothing else to learn. So
Absolutely.
thank you for that. Thank you for that.
Yeah, I couldn't tell no lie to that question. I was like,
no, I cannot.
Listen, what Camille said, listen, I'm gonna try, okay?
That's funny.
And it's funny because I like how you flipped that, Dalisha. You literally was like, because those are things that let us get our hair done, nails done, everything did. And you don't notice it.
Oh,
right. Oh, yes, that's true.
That's attitude.
Right.
I'm in your face, like
You do with your hair.
you see me, you know?
Right.
You know, I'm doing, sir, compliment me. So again, I love how you flip that, where it's give it back because it's a human thing.
Yeah.
It's not a gender role thing. And I think that's one thing I would love to see our generation get more comfortable in. Just teamwork. It's a team. We are a team. We are partners. Bertha mentioned it earlier, for better or for worse. If we could get back to remembering those vows, to me, it's the marriage Bible, basic instructions.
Absolutely.
And we forget it in sickness and in health. Most of us, we are here for the health. We are here for the good.
For the better,
you know what I mean? We're here for the better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're here for the richer. We
Mm-hmm.
know all of those. Now we can recite them like this.
That's true.
But then when it comes to the opposite of that, it's like, and I got to tell y'all this funny story that now is funny, but then it wasn't. Corey had an accident on his job, and his foot was literally grounded up in a conveyor belt, a machine.
Oh, wow.
I mean, just awful. Do you hear me?
Lord.
Wow.
It burnt off 2 ligaments. He had to have multiple grafts. It was horrible. Just wide, a hole this big, wide open on the top.
Oh, Lord.
And I remember, once he healed, he was still having a hard time walking on it. And of course, men, they get hard-headed about, taking care of their health themselves. And I told him, I said, listen, I'm going to need you to do what this doctor said about your foot and stop being hard-headed, because I did not sign up for one leg. Okay,
right.
sir? I signed up for 2.
And I believe you said it just like that.
That is so
Absolutely.
silly.
I did not sign up for that.
One leg is a deal breaker.
Return to sender. I asked for 2 legs, God.
You ain't even contacted the creator. You just sending them back.
Wow.
But and I had to just throw that in there. But it reminded me of Dalisha's story. And we never know where in our in our season that certain things will happen, in our relationships. We never know when. And so you were faced with that earlier on. And it was like, okay, sink or swim, and you got to stroking with him, And so those are all really important things to remember. And again, it goes back to the vows that we have taken when we decide, to really be committed committed to the commitment,
Yes.
Mhm.
not committed to the title or the last name or anything else other than the commitment.
The commitment. That's good.
And that's one thing that I literally I love that I've heard tonight is that, you know, of the transparency and, you know, what we could do more. And husbands, if y'all watching, listening, minds is knocked out because again, he set up with me for over 24 hours today with team no sleep, both of us. But if you guys are listening, this is just a show to show you guys that we appreciate you. We honor you.
Absolutely.
I heard that word loud as I mean clear as day in me getting to see my husband for who God has blessed him to be in my life. And all I could hear was honor, honor.
Wow.
And in that moment, I could not say I honored him, but goodness, it became a desire.
Man, that's awesome.
The more that I worked on that, the more every day I can say I honor him. I want to. You know what I mean? Like I want to. Not because he's perfect, because now I see that he's actually human.
Right.
Now I know that he's a man before he was ever called. You know what I mean? And answered. He's human.
Right.
So I literally want to.
I got a question.
Go ahead. I like your question.
For the singles, how do you honor your husband? How do you show honor?
How you said for the singles?
Like for the women who don't understand what that means.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
What does that mean to honor your husband?
And I'm gonna actually answer that with you.
Oh.
You be his safe place. His peace.
That's
his rib, which is he doesn't know what's inside of him. So I believe, my opinion, ladies, that it is our job to show him what's inside of him, meaning encourage him, push him, those words of affirmation. Those are all the things that we know they won't ask for. How many men can we say will literally say, I don't have this figured out. I don't know how to be a father. I don't know how to be a husband.
No.
I don't know how to be what you need. But it is, I believe, our job. That's where our mothering, nurturing, attentiveness, just the natural attentiveness that women and especially mothers have comes into play. And so we meet the need without having to be asked. And for me, that is how we show them that we honor them.
Wow.
Because all of that is honoring who God placed us in their lives to be. And that's my answer. Bertha?
My answer would be showing honor by giving him respect and encouragement. And those are two things that I have a difficult time with.
Come on, transparent.
I love it. I love that
I'm
you're
in
so
such a
transparent about
struggle
it.
with that. You know, I have, and I don't know if any of you all have said this, but my motto, which is a bad one, is you ain't my daddy. You can't tell me what to do. So I'm really
sip tea, water, something.
I am
made me grab my
cup. I'm so working
Come again,
on
say
that.
what?
I'm so working on that. Oh my God.
Wow.
So yeah, I would say that those are the things that are definitely, in addition to what you said, encourage and respect. Because a man wants to be respected. If he's not respected, then you know he's already getting it negatively in the world, you know, as a Black man. So if you're giving it to him at home like that, then that's not good.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. That's good. That was good stuff. Camille?
I think for me, and basically what both you and Bertha has said, but for me, I had to learn that being submissive isn't being controlled by my husband, being submissive to him. And so coming from that mindset that, you know, him being the head doesn't mean that he's going to control me. Me and being submissive to him doesn't mean that he's allowed to be control me, but it means to support him as his wife. As I said, to respect him, as it was already stated, and just to push him. We push each other to be the best, to be the best, you know, be the best Leon, I'll be the best Camille, we be the best family, you know, as a unit. So in every area, all of our responsibility, just be that encouragement that, you know, we can do it, because it's hard for both of us, even, you know, as a marriage couple, but individually, you know, on our jobs in these various places. So just learning that, and then encouraging him with the words. So I think the question earlier was like, what was your question, Dalisha? I don't think I answered it.
How do you show honor to your husband?
You answered it really well.
You did. Flawless.
Basically, that
was good.
Yeah, basically how I pretty much show. It's just being a support.
I love that. I love that. Dalisha, now you can answer.
I think for me, I don't want to get too deep here, but I'm learning that how can I show you honor if you don't show God honor?
That's good.
So, say that again, say that again, please.
How can I emulate and show you honor if you don't show God honor? So one of the things we talked about, or a preacher today at our church today, was a lot of times when women start lacking intimacy, respect, you know, a number of things, it's because the head isn't giving that to God. So when I know this, because it messed me up. It's like, you can't just say that. You can't say that.
That's good.
So it honoring my husband. It makes it a lot easier for me to fall in line and to essentially honor him. And for me, honoring meaning we're on the same page. Like it's no, you do your thing, I do my thing. Like, I know you said earlier, we're not in each other's business, and we're not in each other's business, but we still have a respect there to communicate what's going on in our lives. Like, hey, I can't tell you everything or whatever, but this is kind of the direction that God, you know what I'm trying to say? So that for me, honor is essentially us all being on the same page, starting with God, my husband, and then me. So one analogy that my husband loves to use is we can't all look at God. We have to look with God, meaning we don't need to be face to face with God because we can't see what God sees that way. But we all need to be head together, looking with God, so we can see what God sees. So that for me is that honor piece in there, and how that keeps me alive with honoring my husband. I hope I answered that.
You did that, and I love that. And I think for me, and Simple Array, I know we can both attest to this.
We talk about that all the time.
Listen, it is
all the time,
and that's what I was gonna. If for me, it is. I feel like the man gets his directives from God.
Yes, ma'am.
And in order for me to honor, follow, however you want to word it, I need to know that, you know, you're getting your directives from the source, the main source.
Hello.
Because I keep telling you I got some buck in me, okay? So listen, if it's not coming, I never realized how important it was until I had a man that has a heart for God.
Wow.
Total different lifestyle. And I never paid attention and never made it a requirement, a standard to have until I met my husband. And out of the men that had money, that were great providers and great protectors and all of these things, it's not that I'd have been with a billion men, but I'm just saying my children's dads and all that. It just is not the same as a man that has a heart for God because he's God conscious.
Wow, that's
And
good.
he makes it
Yes.
easy.
Mm-hmm.
There are times, of course, he is not operating in that spirit and he all up in his flesh, but the way our God balances us out, especially when it is a God ordained and predestined union, when he is not in that, and when he's in his flesh, I'm in my spirit. When I'm in my flesh, he in his spirit. And so we're constantly being able to give and do that for each other.
That's awesome.
Very seldom are we both in our flesh, but it happens.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an atomic bomb waiting to go off. You know what I mean? It's like, but I really appreciate you guys, and we are, slowly but surely running out of time. And I appreciate you guys for doing this, and I know that whether they're single or married, the men appreciate us ladies just taking time out to give them their flowers.
Yes.
Before we go, and I know we're nearing the end of the show. Tell me something, and I'll start back up top with you, Dalisha. Tell me something about your husband that really makes you feel safe, that you feel blessed to have him. Why is that?
My husband, he learned how to love me in a way that I've never been loved. Learned. So he took the time to understand my thought process, whether it was right or wrong, my history, my shortcomings, my struggles, and he's managed to learn how to love me, and in his loving me and pushing me and charging me. My husband's a prophet, so in his boldness with me, addressing things that I was scared to address, calling those things out as they may be, it made me appreciate him and to find myself like he is my best friend. We went out to dinner tonight with a couple of our friends, and the guy walked over to us. He was like, "Man, y'all standing here talking like y'all are homies. Like y'all are standing here talking like y'all are two friends." And I love that energy about y'all. Like, Will is my best friend. So him learning how to love me and making me feel safe in me.
Right.
Like I can get dressed up and do it and dolled up and do the whole thing. But when it's time for me to come down and to simply be me, he still tells me how fine I am, how good I look. He still wants me. My belly is huge right now, but he still makes me feel wanted. And that for me is that safe place.
That's good. Come on, Will. Oh, he said, "Thank you, wife."
Thank
you,
Bertha, what is it about your husband that makes you feel safe and blessed to have him?
Oh goodness. Just his presence. Because I know that he is not the one. He's not going to let anything happen. He is such a protector and a provider. He makes sure that this family is well taken care of. Not just financially, but just that we have fun. He loves to laugh. He loves for us to sit at the table together and have meals together. When we're not going through storms. But
right,
no, I shouldn't even say that, because even when we're going through a storm, he still wants us to maintain that level of togetherness.
Yes.
I try to take us a different direction. But
he like, bye-bye, I'll be here when you get back. I will wait for you.
He was like, Bertha, if you leave, I'm moving with you.
That's good.
I love that.
But no, he is just, he's an amazing man. And I mean that literally. Like I said I've been married before, and I'm not putting down anybody, but he's a man. he is a man, and he does not back down from his manhood from anybody.
Mm.
So that makes me feel safe.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, I love that. Camille.
I would say for my husband, just accepting me for who I am. Um, we dated when I was in high school. We both were in. He was a senior, and I was like a freshman. But we dated, and then he went to the Army, just to share a little bit of background of how we actually started, and went off. So it was when he went to the Army, we kind of went our separate ways. And once I graduated high school, we came back together. But just sharing that, because I never was perfect. Just through life, you make mistakes, and just being shown that you don't have to dwell on your past, that you're still worthy of a good life. You're worthy of God's blessings. So for him, just reminding and pushing me to do better and be better. I ended up, when we got married, I got pregnant and had to drop out of college. But with my husband, just reminding me that even as time go by and we have goals, you still can accomplish those. And I graduated this past spring college with honors. So, just having one that pushes me to not let time or people or anything stop you from being the best you. And so just having someone like that in your corner, it makes it easier for me to even reciprocate that to him. So we don't have the best life, but you know what? We have the best God. So, with that comes everything we need. So just being able to see that. And that's one of the things that I can say that really I'm glad that I have him in my corner. And I'm glad to be in his. So we're in the same ring together, and that's a good thing.
That's right. Oh, Jesus.
I love it. Amen.
I absolutely think I can relate to everything you guys said. But the one thing that I can say about my husband, and for one, it's the covering. I feel it. It's him knowing when to back off and let me do what I need to do in order for me to see that he's covering me.
Wow.
And that right there, believe it or not, works for me.
Yes, that's good.
It's how I've learned all my life. He figured me out.
Wow.
He never takes his hand off of me like God. There are some times where you may not feel his presence as strong because he knows that what you need is to chase him, seek him. And so Corey is such a great balance when it comes to that.
That's awesome.
Like, I'm gonna let you do you, but I'm gonna be right here. And again, best friend conversation. Man, when we first met, we would get off work. We worked together. He was there before I came on, but I came on as his boss. I just got to put that out there. We would get off work. And let me tell you, I broke a rule because I never, ever, ever, ever dated anybody I worked for. But this man, he lost his mom. And long story short, he had been flirting with me way before that. And I'm just like, I'm busy. I would go there for the show conferences. And he lost his mom, and I noticed that he was still coming to work. And I was like, why are you here?
Yeah.
He came to work. And not only did he come to work, I would look down at his desk and he had his Bible wide open.
Oh my.
And I connected the dots. That's where he was drawing his strength to come to work.
Mighty God.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And that's when I was like, hey, sexy chocolate. I saw him.
Yeah.
You really saw him.
Yeah.
And so in all of my busyness, because I am a busy bee, he is the quiet in my storm. He's just patient, but ultimately, he's consistent. That's what I told the story for. He's
That's
consistent,
awesome. That's good.
committed.
Mhm.
And again, like you, Bertha, he won't back down. He'll stand his ground. But the one reason why out of a million reasons that I could probably think of that, you know, being weak-minded and neither of us having a heart for God, if it weren't for that, we probably would not be together. But the one thing that I can say I love him right now to this day for more than anything is the try. And I want to speak to the single ladies out there that feel like you are going to meet this perfect man and he's going to be your what do they call knight in shining armor. No, he may have a stagnant moment. He may have a depressed moment, down moment. He may have a moment of not you. I mean, literally not speaking your language. You don't understand anything he's saying. There's so many different things that's going to come into play. But if you see a try, I don't know about y'all, I can work with a try.
I can work with you.
And what I mean by that is I had to, and God dealing with me, I had to look at, but has he grown any? The things that you've asked him for, the things you said you needed from him, or you needed him to be for you. Has he tried it? And in all of the negativity that I, you know, just those yak moments, just sitting with God, I was like, you sure right, he has. He did that, and he did that. He failed at that, but he attempted that. You know, it was like I was able to just see all of the things that I could not see before, because it was like no sooner than he actually met these needs and accomplished these goals. I came with, you know how we do, y'all, with the grocery list. I had about 20 more things for this man to start on. And he's like, listen, wait, I'm tight. Let me breathe, Linda. You know, and I had to realize that he had a try in him. He didn't master everything, but neither have I. You know, the difference between he and I is he hasn't asked me to change anything about me.
Wow.
Not one thing. And so I absolutely feel safe and secure. And I know that I am in this with someone that is here for the long haul, because there are many men and women, when you ask them to even try or alter anything about their norm, hey, I want to stay exactly the way that I am, and they would rather chuck up the deuces than meet that need. So I appreciate you, Corey. I love you. I thank you for being that for me, and just allowing me to be comfortable in that. Before we go,
wait, Gwen, can I say something real quick?
Yes, please.
What you just said is kind of confirming what Dahl just said. The view that you were on with Corey, you were here, and that's why you couldn't see him. But whenever you changed your perception, then you gave yourself a God's view. So now that's how you can see him that way. So I just want to add.
Thank you for pointing that out. And I see that.
That was really good.
And that is also another prayer. It's like, God, help me see him the way you see him.
That's right.
Help him see me the way you see me.
That's right. God's view.
And so my wording and lately I've been very intentional about that. And what I put into the atmosphere, and then being specific about my prayers when it comes to my marriage. You know, it's just not oh Lord, watch over us and keep us. And sometimes you got to be detailed. More often than seldom, you need to be detailed.
That's right.
and praying and over your marriage and over your husband and covering your union, you need to be detailed. Simply Lorraine.
Yes.
I know she's like, I told you. Don't.
No, actually,
Go
a
ahead.
lot of the things you ladies have been talking about is kind of exactly where I am right now. Like, you know, in some of our conversations, Queen G, we have talked about, I always will say, like, he has to have a heart for God. If he is not getting his directions from God, I'm not going to be able to submit. I'm honestly one of those, as a child of God, I can honestly say God has to humble me a lot of times.
Yes.
And if God is the only one that can really deal with me, then my husband has to be, a lot of the people, just people in my life have to be connected to God in order to really be able to connect with me.
Yeah.
That's good. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
It'll just be a lot of friction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
At least until I get into position. So
say what you said. You said after listening to y'all, God, keep on doing what you're doing. Don't do it without me.
Yes. And just in life lately, it's just been a constant growth. And Bertha said something earlier when you said that you wanted to challenge what I said. It reminded me of something earlier this week. It hit me that we are such creatures. I won't say creatures of habit, but so repetitive sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And that he's really been opening my eyes. And it seems like he's been working with everyone on that right now, as far as just really paying attention.
Absolutely.
In your because if you're always being repetitive about everything, you can't see what's going on.
Right. You're not growing. Right.
Exactly. So he has been teaching me in all types of ways in the past couple weeks, whether it be with family, with friends, at work, just period.
I love
That's
that.
awesome.
I love that. I'm glad you were able to get that. We definitely have to wrap up, but before we do, I definitely need to do this for the first time in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I need everybody to play a game with me. Just real quick. I'm gonna let y'all go to sleep. This game is called Pet Peeves.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna start up top again.
I got it ready.
Alicia, give me one pet peeve that you have that your husband do that you just absolutely cannot stand.
I don't know if it's because I'm pregnant, but I cannot stand sucking teeth. Like, I don't know why that is aggravating me, but it's like, go brush your teeth, go floss, go do what you need to do. But
look, you got me over here like,
and smack your teeth while I'm trying to watch this show. So it's definitely because I'm pregnant. But for right now, definitely him smacking and sucking his teeth. It just sounds like he sounds like he's 70. I need you to stop. Stop right now, please.
Not 70.
That's like my number one pet peeve right now. Number one.
I am crying.
Your husband said log off.
I love you, baby. I love you. I love you so much, but I need you to stop. I need you to stop.
Stop it.
Cut it out.
Okay, so my pet peeve is my husband scratching his belly. Please stop, honey. Stop scratching your belly, or at least turn the other way or something. Just
he lift up his shirt and just start scratching
in the public.
Oh, man.
He would do it in the line. He does not care.
Oh God!
So I just have to turn away. Like, okay, I'm not with him. That's what I used to do. Now I'm like, now I just look at him. That's my husband.
Oh Lord, that is too funny.
Sometimes he'll start dancing while he's scratching his belly. I'm like, really? In the public, you gonna scratch your belly and dance? I just look at him.
Like, pick a struggle.
Oh my God.
Camille, what's a pet peeve that you have of your husband has?
The one that came to mind is like my husband. Sometimes instead of like just giving me a hug, he'll pat my head, the top of my head. And I don't understand what that's about, but it just
I don't understand.
Yeah, so I'm like, just pat me on the back. I rather, but not the top of my head. But he does that. It's just like, like even sometimes, like if he's saying, "How's your day?" He'll pat me on the top of my head, like, "How's your day?" And it's like, oh, what is that about? What does that mean in your language? Because to me, that's like, the dog,
But it's such a high form of love. I've heard that's a high form of love. Really, kind of like
where did you hear this?
Even when you're raising a child, you encourage them and then you pat them on their head.
Wow.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's true. It's not true in my life, but
that hasn't been revealed to me. Yeah,
I've heard it a lot.
Pastor, and I'm like, God talks to me too, so He hasn't revealed that to me.
Like, not in my life.
Let's not do that. I'm like, let's not do that.
This guy, I don't understand what's going on here.
Yeah, what does that mean? Trying to understand your language, but I don't know. Yeah. No more gestures.
I love that. And the crazy thing is, honestly, I don't have many of my husband, but I'm gonna go with this one just because it is the most annoying. I'm gonna catch a case type of pet peeve. He wants to, when you're watching movies and you're cuddling and I'm laying on his chest and he's like, "Babe, come on, let's watch a movie." And I'm all here. I'm here. And then you start snoring so loud. It's the snoring. And while I understand that, it could be adenoids, it could be, something that you can't help. Don't ask me to come cuddle with you during a movie, and now I'm into the movie.
Right.
And you knew you was sleepy. Go that way and let me be great over here so I can hear the movie. I cannot hear. And I'm a petty wife. So I'm like throwing pillows over his face. I'm like womp womp with my elbow. I'm taking my foot like and he's jerking. I know every time he jerk, I'm gonna get a good pause so I can hear this part right here. I didn't rewind it 3 times. I can't hear. So it's the snoring for me. That is a pet peeve. And I am just like, child, wear your CPAP. Do what you got to do, but just let me live.
Let me listen. Let me
live. It was such a pleasure. Thank you guys for playing the show with us. Y'all got to come back again. We're going to do, I need to talk to some wives. Simply Lorraine, you have been the most amazing team player tonight.
Awesome.
Thank you, baby.
Thank you, ladies.
So, guys, everybody that is tuned in, we will be back here next Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we would love to have you back. Next Saturday, we are actually going to do a part 2, but we're going to be talking with our husbands. So we get to get an earful and find out what they are thankful for when it comes to us. So do not miss. I am here for that. Are y'all here for that show?
I'm gonna be
here for that show.
In the comments.
In the comments.
I'm gonna be there.
I actually am looking forward to that. So, and I think it's gonna come very easy for them, but we'll see. So in the meantime and in between time, y'all, we are absolutely at home and we going to bed. I don't know what y'all doing, but please meet us back here next weekend at the same time. It's been a pleasure to have you guys. And of course, y'all know my baby, Brandon, made this video for us, especially us mothers. So I hope you guys enjoy this. And I love you guys. Thank y'all so much for being here. And we'll see y'all again. another
Thank
show.
you, ladies, for having us
Bye,
tonight.
ladies.
Thank you. Good night,
Good night,
everybody.
everyone.
Good night.
It's a letter to my mama, letter to my best friend. I know your love run deep, it'll never end. She taught me how to cook, she taught me how to clean. My dude's the realest one that is on my team, never ever picking sides. She taught me how to rise, taught me how to be a leader, never ever follow God, son, always follow God. She taught me how to pray, right before I eat, and right before I lay, don't be scared to make mistakes. She taught me that it's human, so I'ma be like Nike, and just do it, anything I wanna do. I know my mama, she gon' ride, yeah. She say never fear no men, only fear God, yeah. So I'ma walk around with my head high in these fear guys. My mama, she gon' be straight, I put that on my God. And I kill 100 niggas before I ever see you cry. I love you, mama. It's a letter to my mama, letter to my best friend. I know your love run deep, it'll never end. She taught me how to cook, she taught me how to clean. My dude's the realest one that is on my team, never ever picking sides. She taught me how to rise, taught me how to be a leader, never ever follow God, son, always follow God. She taught me how to pray, right before I eat, and right before I lay, don't be scared to make mistakes. She taught me that it's human, so I'ma be like Nike, and just do it, anything I wanna do. I know my mama, she gon' ride, yeah. She say never fear no men, only fear God, yeah. So I'ma walk around with my head high in these fear guys. My mama, she gon' be straight, I put that on my God. And I kill 100 niggas before I ever see you cry. I love you, mama. It's a letter to my mama, letter to my best friend. I know your love run deep, it'll never end. She taught me how to cook, she taught me how to clean. My dude's the realest one that is on my team, never ever picking sides. She taught me how to rise, taught me how to be a leader, never ever follow God, son, always follow God. She taught me how to pray, right before I eat, and right before I lay, don't be scared to make mistakes. She taught me that it's human, so I'ma be like Nike, and just do it, anything I wanna do. I know my mama, she gon' ride, yeah. She say never fear no men, only fear God, yeah. So I'ma walk around with my head high in these fear guys. My mama, she gon' be straight, I put that on my God. And I kill 100 niggas before I ever see you cry. I love you, mama. It's a letter to my mama, letter to my best friend.